Hello, fellow lifestyle hobbyists. I'm Anthony, and this is Aquascaping on the Fly, Living Art Creations, where on my channel, we're scrappy, we're DIYers, and I infuse my love of spirit and Mother Nature into every single one of my builds. That being said, I want to show something off today. Okay, yes, I've got the tank showing up. I just did a RO remineralization swap out just hours ago, and just finished up doing the post water testing. So I'm gonna give you guys a little dialogue box, probably in a separate video, that just talks about the process that we're going on for them. But they're doing a lot better, I will say that. So I'm really excited about that. But what I want to talk about today is budget. Now, especially in this type of an economy where it's kind of upside down, we know we're in a lifestyle hobby that can get quite expensive. I mean, I go to on a lot of different websites and I look at the materials that everyone's using that they listed, and I pull up the prices and I want to see what people are spending on their builds, and it just floors me. The amount of money that can go into a tank is just astronomically expensive. So what I always try to focus on is what can I do DIY wise, which for me a lot of times is getting my own gravel and my hardscape. That's a necessity. That way I don't have to buy something like that. And that also means my specialty rocks. And I just bring them back and I clean them and prep them for the tanks. And then I try to get my plants on sale. So I've had you guys ask me this question before, who I'm using. I use three different really online vendors. I use Boost, Aquarium Plants Factory, and then there's a couple of generic ones on Amazon that I've used in the past that I've had pretty good luck with when they come up with a really, really awesome sale. But another thing is I don't pay full price for any tank that I've ever had. And what we're going to focus on this episode is the fact that I'm doing an upcycling event. Now, those of you who are my subscribers, and thank you very much. We're almost at 270. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm waiting for us to hit 300, and after 300, we're going to go to 500. So that's just being said right out there. I'm just putting it right out there. And one day, yes, I expect the channel to explode once the algorithm gets me where I'm going. So here's the message to the 97% of you out there who are watching the videos but not subscribing. Come on, it's so easy. All you have to do is just click it. It doesn't mean anything. If you want to unsubscribe later because you hate the content, go ahead, feel free. There's other fancier channels out there that do this way better than I do. But I always try to show you guys realism. And what I'm loving is the community that's being built on the channel. It's other scrappy little people like me that are doing their own thing, trying to cut costs and getting inventive with their builds. So the comments are like nuggets of diamond dust for me. And that's the honest to God's truth. I love it. So your likes, comments, and subscribers, when you get all three of them, it really helps the algorithm push you out there to your intended audience. I look at my analytics every time they come up, and I'm not even getting sent anywhere close to an aquascaper or even a terrarium website. Or people that are looking for that. It's just very hit or miss right now. But you guys are finding me, which is amazing. And when you do find me and the feedback I get, I'm loving it. So keep that coming. So what we want to do today is I'm going to talk about, and I have prepared a sheet. I'm all about preparing my sheets now. Not that I'm going to do anything that's anywhere close to a script, because you guys know I just talk off the cuff, and that's how it goes. But we're going to showcase what is right here. Oh, but no, it's not my QT cup, which means I need to take a sip. But since I've been doing my own RO water here in my studio, I've been drinking a lot more water because it tastes really, really good compared to that crappy stuff that comes out the pipes. But this is, I started with this one. Okay, you guys may recognize this one, and I'll zoom in so you can see this. This is the Pink Lady. She was my 250 subscriber special. Now, under the Pink Lady, it's going to kill you guys. This total cost is $16.99. I've verified everything back in here again. So the bowl was $3. The aqua soil, I didn't even use a full bag, so I'm just charging myself $5 for that. The gravel, it came from the parking lot. I think I've mentioned this on videos before. We have a lot, there's like a stream behind here. Yeah, there's an actual stream behind where I live and I can't get to it. There's moss down there, but I can't get to it. It's all fenced off. But because we have, sometimes when it rains really hard and it washes all the soil away. They put all this gravel out there that just ends up going into the parking lot. So it's just piled up gravel that you drive over and everything. I probably shouldn't be using it, but I am. So I go out there and just sweep some up every once in a while and clean it, boil it, put it in a build, and there it is. So Pink Lady, she has, I even actually listed the plants. Okay, you know I'm not gonna say this right. I think it's Alternaria Rosenvig Mini. Now you guys will remember, Tree of Life had this planted solid, and I cut it all back. All the plants that are in here were from Tree of Life. So that's zero cost. And that brings us to a really important question. Once you start having more tanks and you do get growth, you are going to want to do something with it. And trust me, you're not going to want to throw your little babies away because you work so hard getting your water perfect and the lighting perfect to be able to get your plants to grow. So you kind of have to have a backup plan in mind. And so mine was, I had to throw a bow together really, really fast, and I wanted to call it the Pink Lady because it's basically got a bunch of pink in there, and I thought it would look really, really cool. Now, the Hardscape was from a nature walk. There's about 8 pieces of Java fern, and I've said this on many of my videos. I can't grow Java fern. I don't know how people do it. For me, it just kind of dies out always. It doesn't matter what tank I've got it in. It just dies. It's just, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's not that miracle plant that people say it is. I have way better luck with Boost and Anubias than I do with Java fern. Has a little bit of Java fern in there. And I charge myself $4.99 because that's half the price of what, no, it's like a third, no. Yeah, it's half the price of what one, that size I ordered at that time. Because I went back to my original orders, and whether I ordered a bunch or the pot, or you know how it comes whenever the plant factory serve it. So I put that in there. And then I've added some of this dwarf Sagittaria. Now I've been wanting to try dwarf Sagittaria because when I designed the Trinity tanks up here on the top row, I knew I wanted shrimp in them, but I didn't research, if I can get it out, I didn't research what type of a living environment they were going to prefer. So no cave, kind of a cave, maybe a little cave, but in Blackfish, I got way better at it. And Tree of Life, it's got caves. So I'm trying to give them another element. And so I bought some Sagittaria because my most famous video on the channel, ironically, is me growing dwarf hairgrass, which I grew successfully like crazy. I mean, like, it was insane. I was getting such great growth. But I was feeding it root tabs, liquid fertilizer, high intensity lighting, and it sent off runners like crazy. It was beautiful. But when I went to put it in these tanks, before these tanks had gravel on them, that aqua soil that's in there moves around like crazy. So anytime that I was in there and I would move those little 5-watt pumps around, the soil just blows all over the place. The plants come dislodged. They can't get a footing because the aqua soil moves too much. So I think it was about a week ago, I decided I was going to put a gravel layer on top of all the Trinity tanks. So you guys may have noticed that in the video. It went from being solid black inside there to now I've got gravel inside there. And so I didn't want to try hairgrass again. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do something a little bit taller because I want something for the shrimp to be able to crawl on that they're going to enjoy it. So I got the dwarf Sagittaria. So Pink Lady has a little bit of it scattered all through it because I do want to put shrimp in all these. And I've been contemplating if I wanted to move some of my baby velvets into this, like maybe if I could find one specific color. Because you guys have probably heard me talk about in my Blackfish tank, I've got over 20 babies that were born the day the shrimp were delivered. And I've got like 3 different sets of colors. I've got a blue, I've got a red, and more like a clear one. So I've got 3 distinct colors. And I thought about putting some in one of these because then I wouldn't have to buy shrimp right away, because shrimp are expensive too. So that's the pink lady. Next, we have a true, I'm calling it a 3-gallon because it's under a 3-gallon. It's right under a 3. I think it's like 2.5, but I'm just calling it a 3-gallon because I haven't came up with another name with it yet. I just put these together. These two, I just put together like 4 days ago because I had an idea of doing another trilogy. What is it? I am a movie buff. Everything, all good movies come in 3s. So all good aquarium concepts should come in 3. That's what I'm thinking. And so here you got it. This one I love because the bowls I think are amazing because they magnify, so you don't have to strain to look in there and see what's going on. You can see it right away, so I love this one. Okay, so in this one, now I blew the budget in this one, okay? It's got an expensive plant in it that I don't normally buy. But this, I made myself laugh because the notes are right. They're funny to me. Okay, so the bowl was $6, but it was 25% off, which made it $4.50. Now, of course, I'm thrifting. I'm thrifting to get these, and you can find them. Just be really careful about the tanks, because sometimes people donate tanks because they're leaking or something, or they're in horrible condition. I'm finding these bowls and stuff like this that are in really good condition. It's just really hard to find this large one because this bowl is expensive everywhere else you go. The aqua soil, again, I'm giving myself throwing out there $5 just for the soil. I didn't even use that much. Mostly it's larger gravel, which came from a stream bed. Thank you very much. So it was free. So the gravel and the hardscape. Now I'm using two pieces of hardscape that I used before. I needed one of those turnaround thingies, but they're wedged in there together. So the plant that I saw online that I just decided I had to have it because it looks so cool is a cryptocoryne. Now I have not had luck with my other crypts. So I'm trying out a crypt again just to see if I can do it in this tank. But this is the spiralis. So it has a funky leaf system, and I thought it looks really kind of cool. Now they were $10.66 per pot after the sale. Because when I talk about when you order from Aquarium Plat's factory, they have what's called a mix and match. Buy two, get one free. Let me caution you, when you go on their website, do yourself the favor. Pick only plants that are the exact same price. Like if you do what I did and where this crypt was $15, okay? And I bought 3 of them. So that means I'm paying for 2, I'm getting 1 free. So I'm getting $15 credit, right? Not necessarily. If you put something in there cheap, like a $6 plant, and you get 3 of those, guess which ones are free? The cheapest. So if you stick to the same price level, you'll get the biggest discount. And it took me 3 orders to figure that out. It's not, oh, I'm buying 3, so one of those is going to be free. No, they look at the total order, and the cheapest ones will be your free ones unless they are all the same price, and then they're across the board. Then that way oh, I bought 3 of these, they're $15 a piece, I should have a $15 credit. And when you look at your cart, when you're stacking things in your cart, you keep an eye out on the discount amount to make sure in your head okay, well now the discount should be $30. Now it should be $90. Pay attention to that. So my order was 100 and I think it was like right under $200, but with my discount, it made it like $118. So see what I'm saying? They were all the same price. I didn't have to worry about it, and I got the bigger discount. So the crypt is in there. Here's one of them, and then there's a couple. I think there's one more back in there because I charged myself for 2 of them. There's more dwarf Sagittaria that's back in there, a little clump, and I charged myself $11 that one because I used the whole clump. And then there's an Anubias in there that was on something else that was dying, and I'm trying to see if it'll live. So it didn't cost me anything because it's probably going to die anyway, but it's in there just in case. And the same thing with, I can't even remember what this is. It's supposed to be a pagasterome, but it never showed up as that. I think it was substituted out. And because this does not look like what I had ordered online, and I think it was a substitution, which they can do that. And so I put the 3 last pieces of it that I have available. The problem was I had mystery snails in a couple of my Trinity tanks up here, and they destroyed my stem plants. They destroyed the stem plants, the Vallisneria leopard, and there was one more that they just completely, when they go over it, it just dislodges it, and the plant just floats around. And I'm a flight attendant, so it floats around, gets sucked into the whatever, and just doesn't do any well after that. The gravel on this, yes, there's like a little place I go hiking. I picked up some gravel, so it's cooler. This one, the gravel's a little bit bigger, and I like that because this bowl is more magnified than even this bowl is. So now we have the total cost of this one was $41.82. I know. I was trying. Okay, so just remember this one was 16. Okay, so the brandy glass, the one at the far end, I had to look up what that was. I'm not a drinker. Well, I take that back. I used to love a good Bloody Mary, but I'm also a diabetic, so liquor just messes my blood sugar up, so I can't do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is all natural. Don't drink coffee. Don't do it. No, this is all natural. This energy is all natural. The brandy glass, okay, you're gonna love this one. All right, it was $3, but it was 50% off, so it cost me $1.50. That little jewel over there is $1.50. Now it's, I think, 1.5 gallons when I measured that one. And I love it because it's elevated. I thought that part was cool. I don't know what those were meant to be in the beginning. I think maybe like a flower arrangement or something like that. There's not really much else you can do with that. It has way too much soil in it, and I'm not taking it out at this point because it has that, it has an aquascore, can't talk today. It has an aquascore, oh my God, I can't say it. Aqua soil, thank you very much, that is much tinier than what is here in the tanks up here, and that I've used in all my other tanks. So minute, I would never, ever recommend it. And when I figure out what it is, I'll let you guys know because it's horrible. Number one, it keeps leaching off black. You have to rinse to get it to clear. Still doesn't get clear. It still has black in there. So that's the only one that has it left. The other ones I've converted all over to the other aqua soil that I'm using now. So I still charge myself $5. The gravel, Hardscape, free. You guys should expect that by now. And the Java fern that's in there was $7.99 for a little, I think they call it a clump. And when I give you a close-up, it's not a clump. It's like one leaf left. I'm just trying to see if it'll grow. When you see that, you're like, yeah, dude, you're right. You really can't grow Java fern. So I charged myself $4.99 for that. It has more dwarf Sagittaria in it at a cost of $11. So that one came in at $22.49. So you got 16, 41, 22. So what the point of this is to let you know, if you are like me, you feel compelled to create, because that's how it works with my brain and my intuition. I feel compelled to create my builds. And a lot of times it has a very a heavy emphasis on spirituality and Mother Nature. Most of the times I go out in a nature trail system at the beginning of whenever, or I just do it, I did one yesterday. I just go out because it helps ground me, if that makes sense to some of you guys. And I'll find something that will kind of prompt a build, or something that I can add to a build, or part of a build. Like, you know, we're waiting for the Rainbow series to take off. And I have to watch my budget really, really tight, because like a lot of people, I live right now paycheck to paycheck. And so it's a little more difficult sometimes to arrange your builds. So I'm waiting for PetSmart to put that extra 20% off coupon on their tanks, because I'm gonna have to buy 6 tanks. 5 for the Rainbow series, and 1 new 20-gallon that's gonna set here, that's gonna have the old Harry Potter terrarium inside it. Now there's no terrarium left in it. I've taken it out. But the form for the terrarium is going to go into the new 20-gallon. I think it's going to be super cool. In my head, it sounds like it's going to be super cool. So, but the point is, let's say you do want to build and you're limited on space. You're really limited on funds. Get out there and thrift. Find something non-traditional and go with it. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to what you have to do in this hobby. It's what makes you happy. You're the one coming home at the end of the day from a hard day's work somewhere else, and this is your therapy. That's the best way to put it. The tanks for me bring sometimes extreme crashing heartache, because I've done something stupid, and the ultimate joy. And that's what I love about the hobby, because it is so multifaceted. Like today, when I was doing all the water calculations and where the numbers were with the RO system and remineralizing it, it's all about chemistry. And sometimes it's about your artist coming out. How do you want to execute your look? Or maybe you've had the tank up for 3 months and you're like, okay, now I need to add more plants. That's what I've done here. So it's a hobby. It just keeps evolving. You just do with it what you want to do with it. But my intent is for my tanks to remain up and running and see how they evolve over time. So that's why it's interesting. This one's already had a rock layer added to it, which I love now because it's kind of like lightened up the whole area. But I'm still wanting to get my shrimp that are in each one of the tanks into breeding before I bring in more livestock. Yes, I want to put fish in my tanks, but I'm waiting until my shrimp have got it down. And the one kind of exciting thing is bird on a wire. I have a female that I saw her carrying eggs. They've not lowered. They're still right behind her head, but I've got one female and males in there. Sad news is Turtle in Motion here, it has my snowball shrimp, and I only have one left, and it's a male. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that one. But in these, if I could have some birth of other ones, then I would still want to keep them separate, so I can keep the color strain separate. Now for the Rainbow series, I have a whole plethora of choices for the shrimp that are going to go in there. But I have got to get my RO system down to where it's seamless, because right now I'm running really good on the day, the 24 hours after I've done a water change, and I'm doing weekly water changes now until I can get my GH and my KH down. Everything else is looking fine. It's just it's my GH, and that's the problem I've had. Like with Tree of Life, I had so many of my ghost shrimp die from unsuccessful molting, and so it's just crushed me that they're having to suffer from my stupidity or ignorance or lack of follow through with really researching something before I just delved right off into it. because I think I've said many, many times, I am no expert on this. What I am is I'm showing you the realism, what really happens in your tanks on a daily basis. So you can see what works for me, what doesn't work for me. That's why I like to do a lot of experimenting as well. Like I've tried growing out several plants to see if I could replicate growth conditions. I just don't have the proper space here to be able to really do it. I have to keep them in tubs, under the bed, in the bedroom with grow lights on. And it's not the type where you see professionals doing it, where they have a constant running water system that runs through all their plants and they treat that one water system and fertilize that one water system. That would be so much easier. I was having to pull out every tub and do that. Now I can grow my terrarium plants because you can just shut the lid and they're fine. You don't have to do anything to them. And I do have a little hospital tank over there that I'm trying to see if I can get some life to come back in other plants. But it's just a hit or miss, and that's how you find out what works and what doesn't work. But I hope this will encourage you to think about what you could do on a really, really tight budget. Or something else I love about this. I've always thought if you started with something like this, especially for children, it's a tiny investment to see if they would like the hobby, to where you could raise your children or the children around you. Maybe they're not directly your children. It could be your nieces and your nephews or cousins or whatever. That to raise them to understand how nature works. And this is something that could be in the home that they could watch and see how it develops and get it fascinated. And it's not just about the aquarium hobby or the terrarium hobby. It's about all the other things that go into the part of that. Like you want to teach them about budgeting and how do you pay for things. Okay, if you want to put that in your tank, how are we going to pay for that? I mean, there's a whole educational concept that can go around that you can do just with children to get them excited and to get them into the habit of stepping away from a television, away from a mobile device, being out in nature. To me, that's just part of my calling. I feel like that's part of my message is I need to get out there and just shout from the rooftops. Turn your freaking phones off, people, and get out in nature. You'll be really amazed with what happens. So I hope this helps you. I am going to put in, I did a screenshot of this for you guys. So I'm going to put it in as maybe a thumbnail. And then look out for the next video I'm going to do that's going to be about the water parameters, because I did another breakdown of where all the tanks are right now. So thanks for joining me. I hope you guys get some good, fun stuff out of this. I really miss you guys when I don't get to do a video. It really makes me kind of like, I miss my people out there, because I feel like you're right here with me. Even though I know you're not, because you're not here. I mean, literally, it's not like I see people or I see ghosts. Don't get me wrong. But you guys know what I mean. Anyway, so you guys have a great day. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider it, because, yeah, I want to be a big channel. I'm going to explode. I'm going to go viral. Oh my God, I think that'd be so amazing. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video update. Bye-bye.